Mika Galvão, the young man from Manaus, one of the greatest pound-for-pound grapplers in the sport today.
Mika may be the most exciting guy in the world.
Anytime this young man competes in grappling, must-see TV.
Mika wants to be known as the Elvis Presley of Jiu-Jitsu, a guy that transcends generations.
You've got to be so careful with Mika Galvão. He is a submission sniper.
Mika Galvão going around to the back. Both hooks in. And the rear naked choke behind it.
Mika Galvão is going for the finish. This kid is something special.
Very hard to prepare for a young man like this, but you just don't know what he's going to do. He kind of does everything.
This is Mika announcing this is the level I am at, and you guys are all chasing me.
Who can stop this man?
And he's done it! He's the super duper uber grand slam champion.
2024, 100 years later, they're going to be like, that was the year.
Now we are going to do the competition class. Jiu-jitsu only and some wrestling. And then after, get back home, rest a little bit, and then do a strength and conditioning. So, chill Monday. Monday I think is one of my favorite days of the week because I'm very well rested, you know, so usually I have a very good training session Monday. Olha o Sensei Galvão ali. Caraca, sinistro. Ó, matei a menina aí, ó. E aí, Sensei? Ah, business? Tá no business? Só um minutinho, E aí, Sensei?
E aí? Oi, tudo bom?
E aí, tá no business?
É no business, no business. Bem natural, natural. E aí, ó, natural tá na área aí, ó.
I think I'm at a place now where I think I face everybody now. So everybody either fights or trains with each other. And I kind of do my own thing, so I ain't got no problems with anybody. We're all gonna face each other eventually again, so let's just train and kind of like old school, what Buchecha, Leandro, Pegrissa were doing. I think that kind of vibe is coming back.
Hey, Rob, you wanna be famous?
Oh, #1 pound for pound, right here.
Hey,
So today we're gonna start drills, wrestling drills, and then after that we're gonna do some specific training. Right now we're in the phase of like training a lot of specific, and towards the fight, like we do more like sparring, like more live sparring. But right now I want to sharpen his positioning in each situation. Right, we're gonna work in different situations, and you see, kind of look sharp.
So right now we have Angelo Posada. He's over at Poway High School currently. He's a 2025 215-pound state champ. He's also top 3 in the country. So right now the focus, when we have an athlete like this in the room in Atos helping our guys out, you know, I really want Kaynan just to pick his brains right now. So kind of just feeling it out. We have a really great room today. Today's kind of going to be a think tank, or like we're kind of just sharing, bouncing ideas off each other.
I feel like in wrestling, like you have this shoes, right? So every time I go here and I pass, like more.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, so it's different. So in jiu-jitsu, I like more like going here. Yeah, it's harder for them.
I'm putting it right here. And he goes, I'm flicking. Definitely a big gap from the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling, but just being able to mesh it together is crucial. Just understanding the positions and knowing what to put your body is fundamental. So even though he's not a wrestler, his wrestling is elite, and he's ready to go. So it was fun getting to wrestle with him and seeing a different look.
Kaynan is doing really well. He's getting better every day, and I can't wait for the outcome of this fight. I hope they can fight really well. I know Nick Rod is an incredible fighter. He's very talented. They both competed against each other as well, but I believe Nick Rod evolved so much lately. He's a very dangerous opponent for sure.
We did everything, specifics, wrestling from top, bottom, leg entanglement, mount, all specific training, but it was really good to go over being in a good position, being in the bad position, and technical rounds. I was feeling sharp. It was cool going back and forth. I used to watch him a lot when I was younger, and now we fought twice before now. And yeah, I think he's gonna do really good in April for that Who's Number One fight.
Presentation of Who's Number One is presented by Defense Soap, now the official soap and body wash of grappling, protecting you for over 15 years. Defend what we built. And by Sway Mask by Dolomite, the official mat of FloGrappling. Experience the hybrid difference at dolomer.com. And by Choju, the leader in combat sports nutrition. Choju's Restore is the first electrolyte supplement engineered for grapplers by grapplers.
Live from Kalahari Resort in beautiful Round Rock, Texas. We're here for Who's Number One 27, Rodriguez versus Duarte. We have an exciting night of action. Once again, as we always do at Who's Number One, but the main event is the big one. That's the match the entire grappling world has been waiting to see. The battle of the CGI champion, Nick Rodriguez, against the ADCC champion, Kaynan Duarte. Stacked card. Sean Williams, are you pumped or what?
Oh yeah, man, this is gonna be one of the greatest cards that WNO has made, or at least potentially so, especially that main event where both individuals come forward with equal skill sets, just different technical abilities to utilize those skill sets.
Well, we have the main event, we have a stacked main card, but before we get to the main card, let's take a look now. You see Kaynan Duarte, this is the main event, obviously. Kaynan Duarte and Nick Rodriguez making their way to the venue. You see the focus, and we had some funny moments in the press conference yesterday, but it was all intensity, and we're gonna find out tonight who's number one. All right, before the main event, obviously we have the main card. We have the co-main event, Victor Hugo against Luke Griffith. Some, championship belt implications there potentially, but we also have a championship match, Elizabeth Clay versus Helena Cravar, Andrew Tackett versus Fabieri Christian, and Chandra Ribeiro, the legend, making a return against Richie Martinez, local Austin native. And we have Owen Jones versus Julian Espinoza kicking off the main card. Now, of course, we have an amazing undercard full of local Austin talent. Taylor Highshaw is going to be facing Trinity Pun, Ben Eddy against Josh Weiland, Colin Carr against Alan Magenzo, and Chris Wojcik against Michael Esquivo. All right, guys, if you're watching the free show right now on the FloGrappling website or social media, you're going to be able to see the the opening 4 matches on the undercard, but to watch the main card, you gotta subscribe to FloGrappling.com. And you know what? We're gonna have a stacked year. Just in April, we have so many great events from around the world, so you gotta subscribe to FloGrappling.com. Don't delay, subscribe today. Before we start today's action, we're gonna kick things over to our very own Reed Connell to tell you about the Who's Number One rule set, and this is one of the elements that makes this event so special.
Welcome to Who's Number One, the premier proving ground for the world's best grapplers. And now right here on this very stage, 2 grapplers will enter and only one will leave victorious. All matches are 15 minutes in length, except where otherwise noted, with no points, no advantages, and no interruptions. Just elite competitive grappling. There are 2 ways to win. The first is, of course, the most preferred, by submission. And here at Who's Number One, all submissions are legal. Heel hooks, arm bars, twisters, and beyond, the world's best have all the tools at their disposal. And if at any point either competitor taps, the match is over. But if there isn't a submission, we will rely on 3 neutral side judges to determine a winner. Their decision will be based on our Who's Number One judging criteria, which is unique to this mat. Now, above all, we are looking for aggression. That means never taking a backward step and moving forward at all costs. We're looking for dangerous submission attacks. That means attempts that will result in a near submission, okay? Leave your 50-50 ankle locks at home. We don't need them. And if it doesn't result in a reaction or a hyperextension, they simply won't count. And finally, positional control. That means guard passes, mount, back takes, anything that leads to positional dominance. The match will be judged in its entirety, and the person with the better display of effective grappling skill will get their hand raised. The referee is also neutral and does not take part in the judge's decisions. His role is purely to control the action on the mats and reset the action should it go out of bounds. This is elite grappling competition at its purest form. A showcase for the world's best grapplers on the world's biggest stage. Just the best fighting the best. It's the only way to truly find out who's number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the sold-out Kalahari Resort Convention Center in Round Rock for Who's Number 127. Tonight, the world's best take the center of the mat to find out who's number one. If you are ready to get the undercard started, make some noise! Our first bout takes place in the Who's Number One Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. She stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 133.6 pounds. Fighting out of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu in Austin, Texas, Trinity Pun!
Trinity Pun makes her way to the Who's Number One stage.
Yeah, very talented young lady here. Very good on the legs. I'd say that's her best skill set is the leg attack. So wouldn't be surprised if she goes all the way in. But a really dedicated student of my good friend John Danaher. So very talented young lady.
And introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner. She stands 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 135.4 pounds. Fighting out of the B team in Austin, Texas, Taylor Highshaw.
Taylor Highshaw is back here at Who's Number One, and she wants vengeance.
Yeah, and she looked great, her outing here. She's actually, it's sort of a conflicting style matchup where Haisha's very good wrestler, very good on top, a lot of pressure. So this will be an exciting match.
All right, let's take a look at this bantamweight tail of the tape. Taylor Haisha, 18 years old, 5'2", weighed in at 133.6 pounds. Trinity Pun, 19 years old, 5'5", weighed in at 135.4 pounds. We're gonna kick things over to our official, Gabriel Martins, to begin the action here at Who's Number 1, 27. All right, here we go, Sean Williams, our first match of the evening. Taylor Haisha, white rash guard, Trinity Pun, black rash guard. We talk about the guard player, lower leg attacks of Trinity Pun against the wrestling and top playing and heavy position of Taylor Haisha, who we saw in her Who's Number 1 debut a few events ago. And as we mentioned, these two have fought before. Trinity got the submission. Taylor is here for revenge.
Yeah, it's a fun style matchup. But both of these, it's amazing because they're both very young, and to be so high level at this young age is very impressive. There you can see the physicality of both individuals actually, but Haisha, you can see she's a little more physical than Trinity.
Taylor, a little bit of a throw there, a little bit of a shove down to Trinity Pun earlier, but Trinity pulling guard right away.
And I don't think that's surprising whatsoever. She's probably going to try to work to get underneath the legs and start to off balance Haisha, or at least attempt to. Back up. What I think you might see from Trinity are things that are guard pulling in nature. Maybe she'll even get a single and try to pull Haisha into a leg attack, or try to split the leg, split the middle, so to get Haisha to step to split the middle and then enter off. She's still trying to jump close guard. Yeah, you can see Haisha doing a good job trying to step over that right leg, or the leg on her right rather. So knee cutting here. Haisha, you'll either see her right hand, right now it's holding that armpit. It's going to punch through to an underhook, push on the hip. She may even try to punch that wrist over there it is, to try to dig the underhook off the post hand.
Trinity Pun looking very cool, calm, collective on the bottom there. Flexible guard player, looking to get underneath the hips of Trinity and tangle some legs. Or sorry, underneath the hips of Taylor, I should say.
Yeah, she needs to get some distance, does Trinity, because right now Haisha has stepped over into that headquarters position, and she's got a nice square hipped position, which is tough. It's tough to lift. All you can do is really lift up, and they can float a little bit, but it doesn't really lift them out. Working her way through pretty deep here. Now she's got a really legit chance here at knee cutting through, but she can't quite get by the leg.
Yeah, that knee dropped just by the hip, and Trinity snuck that right foot back in.
Yeah.
Red.
So Taylor Haisha is the first person to get judges' favor so far. And for those of you at home watching, you know, the judges' favor, we're not scoring these as rounds. It's just telling you that if the match ended right now, this is who the judges would be favoring to win so far. So it obviously adds a little bit of confidence for both competitors. But again, we're not judging these round by round. You're going to hear another judge's favor coming up in about 2.5 minutes. So it just kind of gives you an indication of who the judges think are winning so far. Back to the stand-up now. You see in the corner of Taylor Haisha, Declan Moody, WNO veteran.
Haisha having some success with the collar tie up top and getting Trinity to walk pretty well. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of these little snap downs, she goes on a single or double. Now here's the thing, right? Closed guard is a great way to enter on the leg. So I think that's potentially Trinity's early plan. If she can't get anything working on the closed guard, she can scoop the leg and drop into legs. But she's been trying to get it to the closed guard. Just got there in a little bit of a different manner than jumping.
Once again, we're here live from the Kalahari Resort in Round Rock, Texas. Sold out crowd. Once again, it's a classic Who's Number One style. And, you know, you talk about the matches we've seen in Who's Number One. This is a lot different than what we saw in Taylor's first match at Who's Number One, where she was able to get the back several times.
Let's go 2-on-1. Clearing collar ties, 2-on-1. Watch the high guard comes up. Roll our shoulders forward.
Trinity playing with the high guard attempt there. Wonder if she'll scoop behind her leg for a little Williams guard.
She's got to get the arm by the hip before she can really do anything like that. There's a nice pummel.
Now, Sean, if you're Taylor or if you're coaching her here, when somebody's got body triangle inside your closed guard, like, what's your advice here? Because should you be looking to posture? Should you be looking to try to untangle the legs with your hands? Like, obviously not trying to expose something, but what sort of things can you do from this position to get escape?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know, she's keeping the inside ties, which is a very important ordeal. So she stops this, right? There's an overhook on her right side, so keeping the inside ties. Now there are like weird, funny little foot locks that you can do, calf slicers if you step over a locked body lock. But they're difficult, especially if you have a really flexible individual, you know, like Trinity probably wouldn't really do a lot of damage, but inside ties, posturing up, and started working towards the feet are all what her goals would be.
Judges favor red.
Taylor up now. Not by rounds, but she is up in the judges' favor, being called once again.
She's got an overhook, Trinity, so if that right knee of hers can peek through the gap of the bicep, you might see just some, you know, triangle. It goes into clamp guard.
Halt to the action here. Referee Gabriel Martins. I think he's giving, you know, one of the things we've made with the referees recently, we've spoken to, nice sweep attempt there by Trinity Pun.
That was beautiful.
Very rare to see a balloon sweep in Nogi.
It's actually really good. I mean, it works from the Udagatami. There, she's got an angle on the arm. So it works really well from overhooks, Udagatamis, things where your opponent will bring their head over and the feet drop to the hips. You could see that Trini had the left foot on the hip, and so when Highshaw started to drive forward, she just lifted her, but she lost her grip on the way over. It's a very productive sweep, Nogi, if you have the right upper body gripping.
She had a nice overhook, a little bite on that right arm of Taylor, almost looking for a closed guard mirror lock, a la Who's Number One champion Adele Fornerino. Shout out to the champ who's watching home in Australia. Look forward to seeing her compete back on the Who's Number One stage, possibly really soon. Back to the action here, Trinity Pun. You know, interesting, nice sweep attempt. Be interesting to see what the judges are saying. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds left. It's basically a sweep attempt against a takedown attempt, but kind of a stalemate.
Yeah, she's doing a great job pummeling this Trinity. There's the angle on the arm again. There she goes. She had success. There it is. Almost.
And this is where Taylor is looking for some back exposure. She's trying to, and Trinity sucks her up once again. If she gives any space, you're going to see Taylor trying to get to that back. Trying to pass, trying to knee cut. Man, Trinity's so flexible. Look at her just chain submission attempts left and right.
And she's got a scoop on that leg. And let's see if she tries to switch. Yeah, she's trying to pummel the right leg through, and we'll probably see an attempted Kani Basami here, a grounded Kani Basami, which is that scissor, if she can get that left leg pummeled through. But you can hear the good coaching from the B team. They know what's going on there too. So
13 seconds left in this match. Taylor trying to get to north-south, gets a pass attempt almost to the back there. Trinity now locks up the leg. Can't really see if she's got a bite. And that is it. There was a couple really nice exchanges in this match. You know, didn't go like we thought it would, but very, very technical matchup from these two young ladies.
Yeah, I would say it was a good strategy, well played by Trinity. She had obviously known that closed guard could be a strength for her, and that's exactly what she did after she was put down. So
take a look at the replay here. We saw several attempts at passing, several submission attempts by Trinity on the bottom. Taylor tried to get past a couple times. Nice takedown to a closed guard pull there. Some great exchanges.
Yeah, just that last little movement there, but actually she left her leg behind, and Trinity, you can see she has the heel. I mean, it would have been a long way from finishing, but she did have some exposure, and that's a tough one. I have my thoughts, but I'm not going to share them.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 9 minutes of action, the judges have rendered their decision. For the winner, out of the red corner, Taylor Highshot.
And that is it. Taylor Highshot now 2-0 here at WNO. She really wanted to get this win. I don't think it went the way she wanted, but a win nonetheless. Look forward to seeing her back here on the Who's Number One stage sometime soon. Once again, for you guys watching at home, you're probably watching the free play on the social media channels on YouTube or on FloGrappling.com. But don't forget to watch the main card, including tonight's main event with Nick Rodriguez and Kaynan Duarte. You gotta subscribe to FloGrappling.com. Don't delay, subscribe today or you're gonna miss all the action.
I think what Kaynan would love most is to make sure that Nick transferred the money to him, you know, from CGI. But I know that's not gonna happen, right? But honestly, I think it means a lot. You know, it means a lot for Kaynan. You know, because it's gonna put his name like on as the best grappler nowadays. You know, like put in the #1 rank. So they are fighting for that rank. You know, so it's good. We see like who's #1. You know, so.
There is the legend himself, Andre Galvão, talking about a huge opportunity for Kaynan Duarte, his student. Unfortunately, they didn't make a bet on this match, but Andre was saying maybe they should have, bet that $1 million that, Nicky Rod won at CGI. But yeah, it's a huge opportunity. And again, this is truly to crown who is #1. For you guys watching at home, if you're watching on the FloGrappling social channels, don't forget, you got to subscribe to FloGrappling.com to watch the main card. Don't miss a second of tonight's action. But without further ado, let's toss it back to Jake to kick off the second undercard match.
Our next bout takes place in the Who's #1 lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 155.2 pounds. Fighting out of the B team in Austin, Texas, Josh Weiland.
J-Dog, Josh Weiland, out of the B team, makes his Who's #1 debut, and he's got the crowd roaring.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys tie up for any length of time, prepare to see a duck under faster than most you've ever seen before. Very talented wrestler.
And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 154.4 pounds. Fighting out of Team 10th Planet in Austin, Texas, Ben Eddy.
Austin local Ben Eddy makes his return to Who's #1, and he says he's going to try to wrestle with J-Dog.
Well, I mean, my hat's off to him. But what he does bring is that really flexible, highly flexible body style, which could also bring its own difficulties for Weiland. So we'll see.
All right, let's take a look at this lightweight tail of the tape. Ben Eddy, 36 years old, 5'11", weighed in 154.4 pounds. Josh Weiland, 26 years old, 5'7", weighed in at 55.2 pounds. We're going to toss things over to our official Gabriel Martins to begin tonight's action. Here we go. Ben Eddy, black shirt, black shorts. Josh Weiland, the 4-time state champion, 3-time freestyle state champion, and 6-time All-American wrestler. J-Dog, he's got that dog in him, he said in the press conference. He's going after Ben Eddy here.
Well, the nice thing about his style of wrestling is he can take the back off of a lot of the things that he does. He does the singles and duck unders well, and it gets to the back off of his initial shot or tie-up, and that's something I don't know him personally, but I would think it's just his natural style looks like it's that way. So, and that bodes well for what we do. Now, you can, of course, take someone down with unorthodox stuff. We have jiu-jitsu, so you can use jiu-jitsu to your ability. You don't have to wrestle. It can be something counter in nature, like Kimuras or sitting underneath and using legs to get to the top. But
that shot.
Yep.
Beautiful shot there by J-Dog, Josh Weiland. And at the press conference, he was asked if he's going to be ready for a lot of the unorthodox, leg entanglements and just, submission chains that we know that Ben Eddy can do. And Josh is like, man, I train at the B team. I've seen it all. I know what's up, and I'm not afraid of anything. Ben Eddy, master of the Hinduli team. One of the craziest submissions. On his back, Josh got a pass there.
Yeah, that left arm was well done there. He blocked the hip and started to hug with the right arm over the other side of the body. Essentially, it turns into a north-south body lock, but it's a really nice way to pass the legs, and he did it very, very well. So, again, set up by that slide by.
Halt to the action there. I'm not too sure what for, but giving an opportunity to look. Ben's looking for that right arm underhook. Josh doing a great job getting to north-south. Be interesting to see how Ben uses that flexibility to recover.
Yeah, as long as Josh stays around the arms and then puts the head in the stomach, well, there he was able to get enough space to get his legs back in.
Fight!
Restart to the action here. Josh Weiland stalking Benetti, keeping that little space in between. Not trying to risk leg entanglement.
Yeah, he's trying the same passing style with blocking the hip with the cross arm. It's a really nice way to pass, but that time it was ineffective. So he's going to have to keep that left leg back, monitor the hips, and work on making sure that that underhook on this right side, on Benetti's right arm, doesn't get too deep.
First judge's favor going to Josh Weiland. No coincidence. We saw the takedown. We saw the guard pass earlier on. Ben is just, been unable to really land any offensive attacks successfully so far, but we still have 5 minutes and a half left in this match. Anything could happen. The master of the Hindola team. I believe the first time I saw it was with you in ADCC Trials West Coast, right? I had no idea what the hell he was doing. Guillotine with his legs wrapped around in a go-go plata or something. And one of the craziest techniques we see from Benetti.
Now, yeah, Benetti's starting to get underneath there, but yeah, that's it. Weiland pushes himself away, uses that left hand in the neck to start to clear his left leg. Kicking out again.
So, obviously no coincidence, but Josh's passes are always ending in north-south.
Yeah.
Obviously because he knows Benetti's got that flexibility with the legs and he's able to recover guards, similar to what we saw Trinity Pun do earlier in her match, and I think he knows that. He wants to stay away from those hips best as possible, so passing to north-south seems to be the key to control here.
Yeah, he's using that reverse sort of inverted body lock there, the north-south body lock style. His hands are not locked. They might be locked now, but and that does require that. And I should staple that, staple the arm down with the knee. If
Benetti, just saying, hey man, you can't just lock me down. Oh, and Josh Weiland with a flying arm lock attempt.
That came out of nowhere.
Benetti was complaining about what he was doing, and Josh repaid him with a flying armbar. Did not see that coming. But J-Dog is bringing the fight. He's bringing the dog. Let's see if we can get a finish in this match. So this is where Josh has definitely got to be careful. Getting close to Benetti, running the risk of him getting under the legs or possibly attacking the neck or shoulder. Left.
Ben is going to have to find a way to get sticky and to keep him from moving backwards. That's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Yeah, because Josh is like moving laterally left to right. Oh, here it is. Benetti setting it up.
Yeah, he can just pull out of that if he just dominates the wrist and ducks his head, but he didn't dominate the wrist at all.
Has got him trapped. He's got his legs trapped, Benetti. And now he's mounted in the triangle, reverse triangle here. Benetti looking to go get a submission here.
This one is tough because you can get Kimura, or Ben should take his left arm and hug this back leg. And that lets him adjust the angle even more. So if his left arm comes back and hugs the leg, he's also got a Kimura attack, but that'll let that right knee come around the corner, and that's a finishable triangle from there. But he's not, he's working on the arm right now.
Yeah, but what you can't see at home is Josh has locked his hands and he's not giving that arm up. I think he knows what's happening. Now Ben's got the grip. He had a Kimura grip there for a second. He's trying to break the fingers. He's trying to break the fingers apart. Now scooping underneath.
Now the problem with, sorry, Ricardo. The problem with scooping underneath means that you lose your triangle angle. He's trying to move into a sideways triangle. He just needed to bring the left arm back and hug the leg, that far leg, and it's going to fix his angle. Then it's It's no joke, that triangle. This is one of my favorite triangles, the Hantei Senkaku opposite side triangle. But now the Kimura might be there. He might set off for a monoplata.
Should Josh stay on his back, or do you think that if he rolls, does it run him to risk of getting in more danger here?
Josh is going to want to push on the butt and circle to his right, and his head's going to pop out. He's going to shrug his shoulder, run like, I was like Homer Simpson, or he's going to run on his side to his right, and his head can pop out of that triangle, and then it's just the arm is left behind. But he's got to shrug hard. You shrug with the left side, and then he can literally worm his head out. Right now is the time to do it, but when he's square like this, he's in line to circle to his right with his legs, will start to untie this triangle, and he'll squirt his head out.
Man, this position I think would have made many a man tap just from the pressure, just from the weight on top. But Josh Weiland's tougher than a $2 steak, and he's sticking it out here. He's not giving up.
Yeah, the problem is he's stuck in a triangle for a very long time, very big, large portion of the match right now. There it is. He could circle out to the right, and he'll untie it. Now it's a front
conventional triangle there. Josh rolling to his knees. Benetti's got a great position to finish now.
He's got to hug that hip strong if he gets on top. Now he's back down to the back.
There it is! Benetti with the submission! And Eddie Bravo's going wild in the corner. What a finish.
Yeah, I think he was going to go out there. Yeah, once that front triangle went on, when he tried to come up, he didn't pull on the hip. He came up and he did not adjust the elbow on the hip. What meant the front triangle went on really tight. And then it just wore down. You're in a triangle for that long. Woof. Yeah. Nice, well done. Benetti had a very nice match, but Weiland, that was a very, very strong performance. Just a little bit of an error. And
yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the replay here. We saw a lot of beautiful passing attempts from Josh Weiland. As I mentioned, trying to get to the north-south, for good reason, trying to stay out of the triangle. You saw the flying arm lock by Josh Weiland earlier. He was really taking it, and once Benetti started to wrap up right here, he eventually got to the mount, got the reverse triangle, and stayed on that thing. I think that was about 3 minutes in duration. Benetti's legs got to be worn out at this point. But yeah, he got the reverse triangle. He was able to switch it to the contemporary position and got the finish. And now Benetti is 1-1 here at WNO. What a match.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Gabriel Martins has called a stop to this contest, declaring the winner out of the red corner, Benetti!
All right, guys, get ready for an epic week of jiu-jitsu action. First up, it's the thrilling BJJ Stars on April 26th, where top grapplers like Mika Galvão, Adam Wardzinski, Diogo Hayes take center stage for some of the most exciting matchups you'll ever see. Then, don't go anywhere, because we're heading straight into the action at the Brasileiros from April 26th to May 4th, where the best in the sport battle it out for the ultimate glory. 2 powerhouse events and 1 forgettable experience. Stay tuned and witness it all only on FloGrappling. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with match number 3 of our undercard.
So this is a huge test for Luke. And he's proven very successful against other great heavyweights like Kaynan Duarte. In the ADCC, he was very successful for 80% of the match against Felipe Pena and looked great. It appeared to be dominating the action, but then had a mental lapse during the match. And if he can just build up to that kind of consistency where he stays at that top level where he's already proven he can beat the best of the best, but do that every time throughout the entirety of even a long and tough match, that will be what he needs to get to that top level.
All right, guys, you just heard the legend John Danaher talk about tonight's main event. Obviously one of the biggest matches in not only Who's Number One history, but in the grappling history, I think. We're truly going to find out who's number one tonight. Battle of Nick Rodriguez and Kaynan Duarte. Super excited to see that. Guys, don't forget, if you're watching at home on the free YouTube channel, you got to subscribe to FloGrappling.com. Don't delay, subscribe today. And we're going to kick things over to begin our third match. Take it away, Jake Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout takes place in the Who's Number One light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, weighing in at 196.6 pounds. Fighting out of Team 10th Planet by way of the B Team in Austin, Texas, Colin Carr.
Colin Carr makes his Who's Number One debut.
Yeah, Colin Carr, I've only seen a little bit of his footage, so obviously likes the rolling Kimuras. That's one thing that I saw in his footage that he was pretty consistent across the board at.
And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 204.8 pounds. Fighting out of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu in Austin, Texas, Alan Magenzo.
Alan Magenzo makes his WNO debut on a couple days' notice. He actually was a replacement for this match. All right, let's take a look at this light heavyweight tale of the tape. Alan Magenzo, 31 years old, 6'3", weighing in at 204.8 pounds. Colin Carr, 29 years old, 6'1", weighing in at 196.6 pounds. Now, we asked Colin Carr at the press conference, if the change of opponent last minute, kind of rattled things a little bit, and he said, you know what, I'm fighting another guard player from New Wave, so nothing new here. I know exactly what to do, and I'm going to take it to him. Alan Magenzo right away sits to guard. Colin Carr on top.
Yeah, we're working on that double kuchi from the collar tie. He's out on the leg a little bit, so Colin Carr flipping around, but Alan's up and uses that leg entry to come to the top. Alan working to almost like an over-under, but you pen the shin, but you just can't quite get enough grip, and his shoulder's a little high. Keep that foot to the butt on that right side. So now he's got a scoop, an underhook of the arm. You can see him looking a little bit like he's going to go after the Kimura.
And you mentioned studying the tape of Colin Carr. He said he's a Kimura specialist, and he likes to go for that position here.
Trying to get a grip on that arm to throw the leg over the top, like a la Troy bar. That's a nice little left step to the middle from Alan, but he didn't get height on that. So he was trying to sit on a leg rather than, I liked how he stepped in the middle. He would have had a little more height. trying to pass from the outside with just ankle grips. So far, Nick is finding a pretty easy way to keep that guard retained. So if Colin wants to get around to the north-south, when he gets around there, he's gonna have to put the head in the stomach right away. There's a leg entry. Now that's tight, that's deep, So he could have double trouble here. There's the heel on that back side. There it is. And it's gonna be a heel knee bar. Yeah, that's on.
Allen's got the legs
out, yeah. A second time it slipped out, so he may want to go to, yeah, there, now it's better. He's got a pretty good grip on that. He can also switch to holding the heel with his hand. And Colin has gotten his knee out, so he needs to roll through. Yep. Some good attacks in there, but just a little off. The first one slipped out. It was the deepest, and it literally slipped out. And then Colin had some nice defensive movement after that. Now he steps back as his own leg attack. That's pretty deep. So Allen's got to get that left leg, left hook. I can't see, but his left hook needs to go underneath the leg.
Judges favor
the ankle, and then he'll be fine. But right now, I think it's all the way out. Oh no, his left hook is in there. Colin's trying to attack the right leg now.
So you see in the corner, Mr. John Danaher coaching his student, Alan Magenzo, one of the replacements here, who's looking really impressive in his WNO debut, especially on such short notice. Magenzo said he was so excited to be here where, you know, it was only years ago he was training in stinky basements, but now he's on the biggest stage in the world in grappling here at Who's Number One. So how the world can change for an individual in the blink of an eye. Sean, when you have a flexible guard player, as you see with Allen, and you know, what sort of things should you be looking to for passing here to avoid leg entanglement or just, you know, generally getting caught in those legs at all?
Yeah, now you got to, usually it's really difficult to pass at the headline, so you pin the feet, use your knees to pin the legs, and then you can move back under the hips, but it's a whole different situation when you can keep the legs pinned with a knee, and then you can start stapling the arm down and moving into much higher percentage chances, or get your head in the stomach.
Yeah,
head to the belly is a very good way to start to get around that flexible guard. But
I really like the multi-directional passing from Colin Carr. It looked like Josh Weiland out there, looked a little lightweight, but he was moving pretty quick, and he was able to bypass the guard for a sec. But man, Allen's got that flexibility. Yeah. Less than 4 minutes to go.
Allen, I liked the initial double coaches, but he's got to have something to enter. Right now, he's not putting the pressure. He's reacting, but he's the one that's not putting the pressure from that seated position. He's reacting and looking for opportunities, for mistakes. Inside leg tie. Let's see if he can use it now. I don't know if he has triangles there. Yeah, there's a triangle. As I said, if he inverted guards like that, triangles can come out of nowhere if you get a leg across the body. There's a north-south.
3 minutes left in this match.
Judges favor red.
Judges favor Alan Magenzo.
Yeah, and that's the problem. We've seen this many times, and it's a good strategy to play, is if the bottom player is just always using guard recovery and flexibility, no single legs, then you can wear them down. And that's basically what happened. Is his legs are no longer able to get over the head so well. The abs are probably tired, and then because there's no real single leg to sitting to the guard, it becomes easier and easier and easier to start getting around the guard when you run north-south.
See that multi-directional passing, left to right once again by Colin. Moving pretty quick for a big guy. Once again, we have a sold-out crowd here at the Kalahari Resort. Standing room only right now. And Colin Carr's got a nice grip on that head. Allen pops it out. Allen looking for that left arm underhook for a second there. Just over a minute left in this match. Allen trying to attack the legs once again. Man, look at the movement of Colin Carr. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Just sliding out of every attack here. And there he is, Gordon Ryan in the corner of Allen Magenzo. Gordon Ryan, WNO veteran, obviously one of the greatest no-gi grapplers of all time. Austin local. We'll be opening up the new wave location. Allen Magenzo on a leg attack one more time in the closing 30 seconds of this match.
Just couldn't quite get it tight enough.
Colin with a nice pass all the way to north-south. Little neon face.
His corner's just saying you got to go for a submission here. Like,
yeah.
Even if
he's passing.
Yeah.
But he's not hitting anything off of it. So it's be interesting to see what the judges decide here.
Well, certainly that last 5 minutes was pretty much all Colin, as Nick really wore down. Maybe that short notice, was really starting to affect him.
Let's take a look at the replay for this match. Colin Carr, Allen Magenzo. We saw a lot of leg entanglements. We saw one nice bite there earlier on. And we saw a lot of good entries. Colin Carr was just able to defend so many of those attacks. But yeah, Allen was just relentless on the legs. Colin doing a great job of passing, but not really getting any submission attempts from that position. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges look at for their decision, which we'll find out here in a sec.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 9 minutes of action, the referees have rendered their decision. For your winner, out of the red corner, Allen Magenzo.
Allen Magenzo gets his win here. Again, on short notice, was able to walk away with the victory. We saw a ton of submission attempts from this young man. Props to him for stepping up, taking this match on a couple days' notice here at Who's Number One. Your college sports have a home on Flow College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences only on Flow College. Head to flowcollege.com today to see everything now. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for our final match of the undercard. Michael Esquivel against Chris Wojcik.
you're talking all submissions, ADCC double gold, and then all submissions CJI $1 Million Grappler World Champion. Yeah, this is what the people want to see. Fans can expect me just to be myself and do what I'm best at. I feel as if in the past I've somewhat tailored my game to beat specific opponents, and that's not me anymore. I'm just going to do what I do and do what I'm best at, and just be grateful for the moment, and whatever happens, happens.
All right, there he is, the $1 Million Grappler, Nick Rodriguez, sharing some of his insight and thoughts about this upcoming match with Kaynan Duarte. Looking forward to seeing that later on in our main event as we get closer and closer to this highly anticipated battle between the CJI and ADCC champion. But for now, let's take it back down to the mats with our final undercard matchup. Call him out, Jake Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout takes place in the Who's #1 middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 185.6 pounds. Fighting out of Paragon Jiu-Jitsu in Austin, Texas, Michael Esquivel.
Michael Esquivel makes his WNO debut.
Yeah, look, I try to watch a lot of footage of Michael just to see what he's going to bring to the table today. He has a tall task ahead of him.
And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 185.2 pounds. Fighting out of the B team in Austin, Texas, Chris Wojcik.
Chris Wojcik makes his long-awaited Who's #1 debut, now training here at the B team in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, Chris is really talented pretty much everywhere, but I think he favors the leg game.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's take a look at this middleweight tale of the tape. Chris Wojcik, 27 years old, 5'10", weighed in at 185.2 pounds. Michael Esquivel, 32 years old, 5'11", sorry, weighed in at 185.6 pounds. Sean, you mentioned that Wojcik likes the leg entanglements. If you go on the FloGrappling Instagram, you'll see a video of him breaking bats with his bare hands, like he's going for legs to break. Hopefully he doesn't break any legs today, but look for him to hunt for those submissions here in this last preliminary matchup.
Yeah, he's looking to get underneath. His arm drags, trying to get sticky with any sort of underhook or to be able to get over to the legs.
And you know, Wojcik is one of these guys. He's got quite the following online. He's you know, he does articles for FloGrappling. And here we go. We talk about the leg entries. He's right away. Michael recognizes the threat. He's trying to free that knee, circle to the back.
Yeah, he's trying to. Yeah, he's trying to take the back. He's trying to scoop underneath there. He's got a nice, nice attempt there to come up on a leg drag. That was actually well done. Really well done. He lost the left foot on the mat. He should have kept driving towards his left with that left foot, and he wouldn't have had that leg stuck back in the middle, but that was very nicely done.
Chris Wojcik on the bottom, looking to tangle the legs of Michael Esquivel on top. Michael Esquivel, local Austin native, representing Paragon Jiu-Jitsu Austin. Chris Wojcik fighting from the B team. Wojcik had an amazing ADCC debut last year.
Yeah.
Had some really good battles there. And it's no coincidence he's on that leg once again.
Yeah, that's doing it. He got his leg sucked in there. That was a little bit of an error there. So this is his sort of Wojlock he likes to do. So
Chris Wojcik, yeah, sorry to interrupt. Looks like he's got it tangled. He's torquing that ankle. Will he get the Woj lock? Will he get a submission in his Who's Number One debut? Now attacking the opposite leg is Wojcik. He's got it locked.
Switched legs.
You saw Michael look for the tap, and that is it. Chris Wojcik gets it done in just over 2 minutes here at Who's Number 127. We talk about Chris liking the leg locks, and it was no coincidence he was able to get this done so fast.
Yeah, he switched into the secondary leg, and then slid the legs as he lost the other leg, slid the legs underneath and put that pressure onto that outside. So there you see he's switching the legs. His legs are going to go into slide underneath on the left side. There it is. Right leg goes over the top. So essentially just switched to the opposite side and then took that straight Achilles with that outside leg position.
What a way to make a debut here at Who's Number One. As we said, long awaited debut. We've been talking to Chris, trying to get him on the card, but the timing wasn't always right, but it was definitely right today here at WNO 27.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Gabriel Martins has called a stop to the action at 6 minutes and 39 seconds. For the winner, by submission due to a foot lock, out of the red corner, Chris Wojcik.
Chris Wojcik, winner by submission here at Who's Number 127. All right, guys, that is it for the prelims. If you're watching this on the FloGrappling social media channels or FloGrappling.com, we're going to kick things to the main card now, and the only way to watch is by signing up on FloGrappling.com. You got to subscribe. Don't delay. Subscribe today, and you can catch some of the best matches for the main card. One of the most stacked Who's Number One cards of the entire year. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back kicking things off with the main card.
Tonight's Who's Number One is presented by Defense Soap, now the official soap and body wipe of FloGrappling. Protecting you for over 15 years. Defend what you have built.
The sport of jiu-jitsu provides so many with a bigger purpose. Jiu-jitsu becomes a part of you. You're faced with so many challenges in the sport, but skin infections shouldn't have to be one of them. And that's our mission. Defense Soap was created out of the need to fight back, because we care about this sport, the families, the athletes, the coaches, and we want to continue to protect people from skin infections, to keep you on the mat. And that's our goal here at Defense Soap, to defend what you have built.
Kubota High Limit Season 2 is here. The dirt track series that shook the world is back. Bigger, faster, and ready to make history. It all begins under the bright lights of Sin City. Catch up with Dirt Season 2 on Flow March 13th. Join Brad Sweet, Tyler Courtney, and the biggest names in dirt racing as they battle for glory and take fans along for the wildest ride of the year. From the first green flag to the epic finale, High Limit is more than racing, it's a movement.
Who's Number One hits the sports capital of Texas. The beautiful Kalahari Resort Convention Center is home to 6 main card super fights featuring the best athletes in the sport of jiu-jitsu. And it all comes to a head with a main event showdown between CJI champion Nick Rodriguez and ADCC 2024 champion Kaynan Duarte. Live from Round Rock, this is Who's Number 127 only on FloGrappling. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jake Watson, joined by my good friend and one of the greatest minds in the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Mr. Sean Williams. Sean, what a great main card. Our main event speaks for itself. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, well, thank you for the kind words, Jake. I'll tell you what, the main event is going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, the whole main card is stacked with athletes that are submission masters. They really are. It's going to be really exciting. But not only are they submission masters, they're dynamic in nature, and we are in for a night of excitement.
Well, talk to me about Kaynan Duarte, who's in the main event right here. You see on this replay, Sean, absolutely dynamic competitor.
Yeah, Kaynan is absolutely evolved into a complete beast. He is good from everywhere. As you saw, he's complete wrestling. He has a back take that you give him an inch, he'll be on your back from nowhere. And one of the things that might play out tonight that Nicky may have to watch out for is that arm in guillotine right there. He has an absolute beastly arm in guillotine. We will see how that plays out. But on the flip side, we've got Nicky Rodriguez has also evolved into one of the most complete jiu-jitsu athletes in the world. He is also well-versed on his feet in the wrestling department, as we know. And if he gets his hands locked around your waist or your head and arm, what a percentage he may have of passing your guard. He's the absolute monster on passing when he gets his hands locked. But he can also take the back, and when he gets the back, if the arm gets under the neck, it's lights out. So we are in for a real contest. Both individuals pose almost the same problems for one another, just technically they choose different methods to get there or to utilize those techniques. So I'm very excited.
It's definitely a very interesting matchup. And speaking of interesting matchups, we have a title bout on the night as Elizabeth Clay seeks to defend her featherweight title versus Helena Cravar.
Yeah, I think and here's Elizabeth Clay, the current champion coming out, one of the young ladies in the women's division, I believe, that has one of the strongest leg locking games, and she's been doing that for a while. She's one of the first women on the scene to really master the leg lock game, and the percentage of success she has once she gets your leg is quite impressive. She's also added a noticeable guillotine, an arm and guillotine from the butterfly guard, and I think that she'll utilize that to get onto the top position. She's got her hands full tonight in the young Helena Cravar, the youngest athlete to ever go to ADCC. She is also a leg lock master, if you will, and she just goes after leg locks like it's relentless, exceptionally flexible. When she gets the leg, she's able to isolate that leg. She as well can really lock up that and have a high percentage chance of success. Now their first match, this one right here, Elizabeth was able to tap Helena. That is before she went to the new wave, and now we will see if she can now come about and redeem herself. That was a young Helena, and now we are in for a possible redemption. What a match we have in the women's championship division.
Now there's one more match to go over, and it's a matchup that I'm especially excited for. I imagine you're very excited as well. We see the return of Shanji Ribeiro as he takes on Richie Boogeyman Martinez.
Yeah, what can't you say about Shanji? I mean, this guy has done it all. He is one of the premier athletes ever in jiu-jitsu and well-versed. I believe he's one of the most versatile athletes that we've ever had in jiu-jitsu, where he can submit you from the back, as we see. He can submit you from his back in the omoplata. He will flying arm lock you if he wants. Exceptionally well-versed on getting on top through wrestling or through wrestles up. He's got his hands full in a unique challenge in Richie the Boogeyman Martinez. Richie is primarily a bottom player, so what I expect to see is a lot of leg locking, as we see here. But one of the things that it might be hard to prepare for is his extreme flexibility. He throws omoplatas and gogoplatas out of seemingly nowhere, and that could really be a challenge. You can see here the gogoplata, their finish, and that's really what could be a challenge for Shanji. He's just a unique and a submission-savvy individual, and I believe he's going to be trying to throw submissions left, right, frontwards, backwards at Shanji.
So those are some of the most interesting matchups, but certainly not the full picture. Let's take a look at the full main card live tonight on FloGrappling. Opening up that main card is going to be Owen Jones as he takes on Julian Espinosa. We just mentioned Chandra Ribeiro versus Richie Martinez. Andrew Tackett will fight Fabio Christian. Elizabeth Clay defends her title versus Helena Cravar. Our co-main event, we didn't talk about this, but a very good matchup as well. Victor Hugo versus Luke Griffith, and that main event of the evening as Kaynan Duarte takes on Nick Rodriguez. And another athlete, not listed on this card, but certainly one of the most beloved in the sport of jiu-jitsu. Dynamic in every respect, aggressive, and making a legacy for himself, the one and only Mika Galvão.
Mika Galvão, the young man from Manaus. One of the greatest pound-for-pound grapplers in the sport today.
Mika may be the most exciting guy in the world.
Anytime this young man competes in grappling, must-see TV.
Mika wants to be known as the Elvis Presley of Jiu-Jitsu, a guy that transcends generations.
You've got to be so careful with Mika Galvão. He is a submission sniper.
Mika Galvão going around to the back. Both hooks in. A rear naked choke behind it.
Mika Galvão is going for the finish. This kid is something special.
Very hard to prepare for a young man like this, but you just don't know what he's going to do. He kind of does everything.
This is Mika announcing this is the level I am at, and you guys are all chasing me.
Who can stop this man?
And he's done it! He's the super duper uber grand slam champion.
2024, 100 years later, they're going to be like, that was the year.
I mean, Sean, come on. That trailer, does it do it? I don't even know if it does full justice to the career this young man has had, but give me your take.
I mean, that young man is literally paving the way for the newest style of grappling. What an unbelievably talented young man. I can't wait to watch that.
Well, to keep up with all of the news articles and updates, not only surrounding that upcoming documentary, but everything revolving around FloGrappling, make sure you get a FloGrappling subscription at FloGrappling.com/sign up. You'll be able to see all the live events, not just his Who's Number One, but also you have full unmerited access to everything FloGrappling offers. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this thing started. The biggest main event Who's Number One has ever had is tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.